They got a Power 5 coach is what they ended up getting. And there aren't a whole lot of Power 5 hires. Going from Power 5 team to Power 5 team doesn't happen a ton. And they got maybe the best one. I mean, you don't know.
No.
You'll never really know. But he'd accomplished some good things over at Oregon State. He won 10 games last year. They won 8 games this year. They built the program, and that's what I like is that he's built it. And I like the way they play. Their style of play is kind of Big Ten-esque. It's smash mouth. They run the ball. They play really good, sound defense. And these are things and tenets that Michigan State needs to
reestablish.
Exactly. And I think this goes a long way to doing that. I like a couple of his assistant coaches that we know he's going to bring over. I'm hoping the offensive line coach is one of those. It seems like he is. But if he's able to come over, that's a big one because this offensive line coach knows what he's doing. He's not just a recruiter. He can coach. And I'd rather have the guy that can coach than the guy who can recruit. And maybe he can do both. He's going to put forth a first-round pick, perhaps, an offensive lineman in the draft this year. They're bringing in the tight ends coach. This is the guy that brought a second-round pick in the draft last year. There's a lot to like, and there's certainly a lot of work that has to be done. Now you got to secure the commits that are already committed to Michigan State. You got to make sure they're going to stick around. You're going to have to try to reestablish some contacts with the guys that had said they decommitted, and then of course you got to recruit. Period. You're going to re-recruit and recruit and look at the portal, the whole bit. There's a lot of work to be done, and credit Alan Haller for getting this done before it gets too late. You didn't want this thing to linger at all. Game ended Thursday night, and kind of knew Thursday night who was going to be the game ended Friday night. Yep. And you knew kind of halfway through the game who the coach was going to be. The news started to leak a little bit. So they had their guy. By the weekend, you knew that they had their guy, and it became official, and he can hit the ground running here, and already has. And I like what they've done with this.
So you hit on many of the good things there. The challenges include, right now Michigan State's kind of light years away, but it is an era of quick turnarounds because of the portal. And the other challenge is who with Midwest ties does he put on the staff? And I suspect that there will be heavy, I would think. We've seen if an outsider, somebody from another portion of the country comes in, if they bring all their own guys, it can be a bigger challenge. I would say that one of his priorities should be to get some guys with heavy Midwest ties.
Well, I think that it sounds like they want to retain in some capacity Harlan Barnett and Courtney Hawkins. Hawk was coaching the receivers, and Harlan's been on the defensive side in the secondary. I don't know if Harlan's going to get an on-field coaching job or if he's going to be an administrative thing, but I think he needs to still be part of Michigan State because he bleeds green and white. I know that a couple of their coaches have some Midwest ties. It's not huge, but they have something there. But they'll have to hire a defensive coordinator. The defensive coordinator hire could be a massive hire with somebody that's got the Midwest ties, somebody that's very well respected. And hopefully we'll hear that in the next couple of days of who it's going to be. But there's a number of candidates out there that would, certainly raise an eyebrow. Go, oh, that guy. Okay, that's good. Go ahead. Go there like that. And I'm not as worried about it. This doesn't seem like a fish out of water story like Rich Rodriguez did, or like John L. Smith,
or the first John Smith.
Yeah, the first John Smith. That a bit of a wackadoodle. I love John L. Smith. Really fun to talk to, but coming and slapping people in the face right away, and coming from Idaho and other programs out west like that, it's different. This guy, started at Boise State, but worked with Chris Peterson. Goes to Washington, works with Chris Peterson as an offensive coordinator, and then gets the job at Oregon State. It's a nice progression. Yeah, it's been in that part of the country, and he is a former Oregon State and an Oregon State quarterback back in his day, but it's the style of play that I think meshes best with Big Ten as opposed to Pac-12. So I think it's a really good fit.